Hello everyone, we're back again trying to showcase our Doflamingo build, and we bumped into a Rob Lucci. We're happy to bump into these competitive decks or real contender decks because it gets to showcase our build, showcase how effective it can be in the meta and the tournament scene. Because trust me, when you build a deck, especially if you want to be competitive with it, your goal is to see what it can do against the meta. So your goal is to see what it can do against Whitebeard, what it can do against Zoro, what it can do against Law, So we bumped into Rob Lucci with this match. And, like I said, I'm always happy to bump into these things. We really try to make these things competitive. And of course, we love the internet because if more people happens to view our build, they might be able to see the stuff that we couldn't see and take it to a whole nother level. Alright, put the 2 on it, swing for 2, use the effect. Right, really digging, trying to look at the top 5, rearrange it, make sure everything's set up properly. That's the thing for Doflamingo. Vision is key. You gotta use observational hockey. Oh yeah, and if you're aware, this is before the update, this match in particular, but they made that easier. I've been saying the hardest thing about Doflamingo is rearranging the top 5, but that's on the app. It's easier in real life. So it's like you moved up the tier list via the app. You play online One Piece TCG, Doflamingo decks just got better after an update. A slice of life update, kind of funny. Alright, guy catches the trigger, draws the 2, chucks 1 in. Rob Lucci is an interesting deck. I've noticed, I don't know if all Rob Lucci players play this way, but I've noticed that they really like to just set up their board. They'll eat the damage, they'll play cards, they just really like setting up their board. And of course they control your board with leader swings and with like Kobe's if they play, Akainu if they play, whatever the pop card it might be. But Doflamingo puts so much pressure and claims board state. So here's the Akuma. Get to showcase how fun it is to make this guy a playable card. Because anytime you're summoning extra cards with Doflamingo, it's like a life for a blocker, however you want to look at it, right? But they're always going to attack it 9 out of 10. This guy allows us to clean up the top 5 by sneaking him somewhere in the middle. You summon him with Doflamingo, you get to add 1 and position 1. I think the boa went to the bottom, but if this was real life, it would be way easier for me to tell. My bad, I didn't quite pay attention. That was monologuing. Alright, so get the Law out. Law 1 Don, fun blocker. Let's see what the Rob Lucci does. But I don't know. I see when I see Rob Lucci players play, and when I see them just go for like the board setup. When I first saw that, it caught me off guard, and I was just like, "What is happening?" But the ability to turn the whole game around, it doesn't matter how much life you have. It doesn't dictate who's winning. It's like the board state dictates who wins, not how much life a person has. So it's just the ability to like set that board up, get the little bit of board control going, and then go for a play where you just pop, and just start swinging 7K, 7K, whatever you got on the board, of course, and you just swing. That's how I ended up learning like double attack can be very effective in the late game. Is the quote-unquote comeback factor. Like all these abilities to turn the game around, even though a person can have 4 or 5 life, you have no cards in your hand, you get all those cards in your hand, you can only do so much in a turn. So it just be like, okay, game next turn. It's crazy. It's just the craziest twist that you can see. So we're looking at another top 5. We got our boss card showing up. We got some events. We got a Doflamingo blocker. Once again, it's all about making sure you rearrange everything properly, precisely. So our board is looking a little weak right now. We got a couple of Ninos on here, and we're just going to figure out how to maneuver and manage with all this. See, right now, deciding how to arrange the top, which ones to draw, which ones not draw. It's whatever. Let's see what the aggressive play chooses to be. Luckily, we still got a blocker. And you know the interesting thing? as effective as it is to, okay, since we can take the Kuzan out, get some cards out your hand, or you lose a character. The interesting thing about just leaving a 1-drop blocker, instead of just blocking immediately with him, is knowing that the opponent still has to spend resources if they want to take it off the board. Super easy to take. The easiest thing to take off the board via effects. They're always weak. They're always weak enough. But you have two choices. You can either get the free block. Oh, we got a trigger. Chooses not to draw. But you can either get the free block, basically, because you know it might not be there at a, oh, E-show drop. Okay, good thing you activate the trigger and draw the 2, because that would have been your boss cards. That could have really changed the game around if those things got checked by E-show. Alright, so fun fact. You could drop down Mihawk and make things harder for the opponent. But yeah, so back on track. Just knowing that the opponent would have to, like in this context, right, a black deck, they would have to drop a Kobe and chuck a card just to get rid of a 1. Trust me, you do what you got to do to win. But it's just that perspective. You don't want the opponent to get the most out of something. So, like right now, the most out of Mihawk would be a 7-drop. But we got rid of the 4-drop. So it's like that. It's just interesting mind games that you can play. So you can literally summon a 1-drop blocker knowing it might just get removed off the board with ease. But at least I learned that from watching people play against Whitebeard. They will still play their little drop characters because they want Whitebeard to put 2 Dawn on him. They want the players to put the 2 Dawn on Ninebeard and swing so they don't get hit with a back-to-back Whitebeard drop. Oh, see? Kaku takes out Zilla. Swing for 6. What do we choose to do here? There's plenty of life though. Yep, there we go. Take 1. Got a 2K counter. That's nice. The 4-drop blocker. We all know that's going back to the hand. See, I remember first playing in the early days of One Piece and being frustrated not to bounce back 7 drops and everything with Doflamingo. You always wanted to get them, like I said earlier, like people want to get the most out of the cards they play, but then you just gotta learn. It's more about messing up your opponent's board. That's it. That's the rule here. Mess up your opponent's board. And that's what we did. 4 Dawn is almost half the Dawn he can use. So that's another perspective you can keep. 4 Dawn is almost half the Dawn a person can use. So bouncing back a 4, a 5 is all good targets still. The main thing is on-play effects. You just don't want to bounce back really good on-play effects. That's about it. Unless it somehow is going to help you win the game. It's all circumstantial at the end of the day. This match is pretty interesting because even though our Dolphy side has a full board of characters, we got little Ninos on our end. 1 drop and a Kuma 3-drop, but 3,000. Not that much, but I can tell you now, in a random spurt of offense, if the opponent's hand size is low enough or you need it to get lower, just put 2 Dawn, 3 Dawn, 3 Dawn, swing with 3 attacks. Trust me, that's devastating. That's 3 cards out of their hand if they're really choosing to defend it. Ain't nobody gonna take 3 attacks just because, like, no. So that's just another concept here. Okay, chuck the 1. I think you made a mistake by swinging for 9, buddy. Little characters can bite you at the end of it all. Late game, when I have all this extra Dawn and I don't know what to do with it. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. And then you know you can't take that the next turn, so now you have to focus your attacks on all these little drops or go for game if it's possible. It's crazy perspective. I love this game of One Piece. I just love how no matter how one-dimensional it might feel or like everything's already been done and we can't change things up, all of a sudden there's some guy who just says, I'm gonna play this card or I'm gonna play like that. It's just crazy. Just a dramatic change by either playing something or playing a different way just changes everything, and I love it. I remember when 8-drop Kid, okay, we got some action, swings for 8. I remember when 8-drop Kid was like the doom and gloom of set 1, And then people just started adding vanillas so they can actually like punch over him. And I was like, wow, here we go. You know, it was always available. It was just a playstyle thing. So now I'm seeing like a more effectiveness on 7-drop Doflamingo, because I don't think people are holding it anymore, hoping that the opponent drops a 7 or a 6. Now that I think they just say, you know what, this is going to mess your board up, or hey, your blocker, you don't need this on the board. Let me just bounce that. Looking at the top 5, gonna rearrange it. And we got some overheats, so we could definitely get the Perona back in the hand. Recycle Perona. We can set up for defense. You see 2K, some more events, yada yada. Set pretty good for this late game. Things can always still get scary, I'll tell you that right now, but it's more about whether equipping the Don to Isho and then summoning things and causing trouble. That's what it really is right now. And if he's not seeing no Kuzan drop anytime soon, if he ever got Kuzan, if he's playing Kuzan, I think a lot of these builds don't play Kuzan, but that would have been something relatively effective. Play a Kuzan, we all would have been nerfed by 5, and then everything would have been devastating from there. Because Blue has a hard time getting rid of a bigger body. Their only chance is a counter swing to get rid of certain big bodies. Outside of that, you're at their mercy. He should protect this. I can't see him not. This is crazy. Okay, there we go. Now this is one of the dangerous parts of the game. The pressure. You're at 2 life. Get some big swings in. And you have to really decide, because lethal is threatening next turn. Okay, he saved it, got the block, kept the life. So I don't think right now we're seeing end game potential. That's what we're seeing. We're seeing end game potential. The Rob Lucci got 1 life, but he also has a blocker, so that's still 2 swings we got to get by, and we got to see what he chooses to do. Okay, he killed one of our blockers. Pretty good, pretty good. Luckily, we got 2 events in our hand, and we got a 2K counter and 2 1K counters, because trust me, it's that late game. We don't need to worry about summoning. We got a good board. It's all about protecting everything. Oh, took the 3. We got 3,000 worlds, but it's not going to help us in this situation. So now it's just in our hand. The good thing is, if we survive this turn, that means next turn we can get rid of any blocker he chooses to summon. So if he was to drop Fukuro, we just bottom deck it, and then we put ourselves in a winning position, I would say. But it's still this guy's turn. He still got 2 swings, and he swings with the blocker. To me, that's kind of risky, but guess what? We got our defense, and we get our Kuma back to our hand, so we get another 1K. Granted, of course, we can summon it, but like, nah, that's that 1K. We're trying to make sure we survive. I think he could kind of tell he's lost his game. I think that's what this is, as he's pondering what to do next. You already ate up all your Don. He really should have swung on Mihawk with Isho and Don stacked Isho. That, like, you don't want to do that. You got to be effective, cost effective with your Don. Okay, 10K swing. So we got that. The 9K, no targets, and then 2K count. Yeah, you really want to be effective with your Don usage. So if he had put the 4 Don on Isho and then swung on Mihawk, that would have been a different story. But all we had to do was just chuck a 1K counter, and it cost you 4 Don for us to just get rid of a 1K counter. So we see you got a card out your hand. You knew you couldn't let that go through, because then it would have been a Don stack swing. You're definitely going to take this one. Now put the rest of the Don on Mihawk. GG. Good games, everybody.